Hello, this is Maria Gevorkan, assignment 3, section E, Introduction to Computer Science. The first exercise is write a program to print out this figure for any n number of pluses in n number of rows. So I created a variable, constant variable total lines. For example, the number is 3 here. The text initial text is nothing. In the first for loop, I used initial index 0, which is gonna be less than total lines, which is 3, and index will go up 1 digit, so the for loop isn't infinite. Text is equal to text plus plus, so initial one is 0, nothing, so in the first loop the text will be plus, and it will do the loop 3 times, and we'll have 3 pluses as a text result. And the second for, I used rows initial number 0. It will be less than total lines, which is 3, and it will go plus 1 in each loop. For each loop, it will print out 1 row, and so it goes from 0 to 2, so it will print out 3 times. Let's check. It's printed out 3 times. Let's change the number. Next exercise is write a code that for a given grade from 0 to 100 will print the grade and whether the person passed or not. So I created a constant grade variable 45 as an example. The variable of result is the initial one is nothing. With if-elses, I wrote the corresponding letter to grades as in syllabus. When we have one row in if, we don't need to use curly brackets, so I didn't use it. After the initializing each letter for the numbers, I wrote a switch for results. Each corresponding letter will print out the corresponding text. Your grade is the grade of the case, which corresponds to the grade you passed. The passing point is C minus and more, as it says in an exercise. You passed and then you failed. Let's check it works. Exercise 245, fail. Let's check my grade. Now it's 91 and 7. Yay, I passed. Next exercise. Given two numbers, using conditional arithmetic operation only, write a program that calculates multiplication. So I used number 1 and number 2 as variables, and for example, numbers 5 and 6. The initial index is 0, initial sum is 0. Using a while loop, while index is less than number 1, the sum is number 0 plus number 2, and it pluses number 2 number 1 times because the initial index is 0. So it multiplies, it adds number 2 number 1 times, which is multiplication number 1 and number 2. The result is 30. 5 times 6 is 30. Let's change the number, check it again. it works. Next exercise. Using a for loop, write a program that reverses a given array. The initial array here is 167. Initial text is nothing. The for loop here is index is array length -1. So the index is starting from the end to the start. Index is bigger or equal to 0, which is index minus minus text is equal to text plus array index. Initial index is 0, so it prints the last index, then the second, then the third. If it's three numbers in the array, because it stops when the index is bigger or equal to 0. Here I have a little thing written for the storaket the end, because in the end here we don't need it, but we need it here, and we need a space between them. This little loop is for that, and we don't need the space and storaket in the end, so it won't work in the end where index is 0. And then it prints out the result with the brackets. It works. Let's change the numbers and check it again. And the last exercise, we need to write a program to output the binary number of the decimal number. Firstly, I created variables number, result, and temporary. Number is the decimal number, for example 56. The initial result is nothing. The temporary at the first is the number 56. So while loop, the result is initially 0. It adds the remainder of the temporary divided by 2, and temporary is equal to the integral part remainder of temporary divided by 2. First, temporary is 56, then it will be 56 divided by 2, the new temporary, and the loop will go on until the temporary is bigger than 0. So this while loop will have the reversed binary number of the decimal given number. Here I initialized a reverse variable, which is nothing initially. The second for loop, this for loop is for reversing the result we have here. Initial index is the last index of the result we have. Index is bigger equal than 0. Index is goes -1 each loop. Reverse is equal to reverse plus result number, result index. So initial reverse is nothing. The first index is the last index of the result, so it will reverse the given number, and we'll have the reversed result of the while loop result. Sorry, I just spaced out for a minute. So for 56, the decimal representation is this number. Let's check with something we know the result of. 8 is 1000. So this works. Thank you for sparing your time and watching my video. I hope I didn't do any mistakes. Bye.